We dig worms. We love worms. They're so cool and they're so important to make our soil healthy for things to grow, right? So, we dig worms. This is by Kevin McCloskey. You see it in there? That worm. There are many different worms. There are tree worms, sea worms, river worms, and gummy worms. Are those your favorite? Yeah. The worms in parks and gardens are called earthworms. Hello, little worm. Worms feel light through their skin. They have no eyes and no nose, so they can't see light, and they can't smell. Well, we can't smell light either, right? You don't smell light. How do we know there's light? Do we feel it through our skin? No, we see it, right? But worms don't have eyes, so they can't see it. They feel it, they sense it. Worms do a lot of important work. I said, hello, little worm. Why is the worm not responding? Hey, he has no ears, no eyes. I eat dead leaves and bugs, says the worm. My tunnels bring air and water to the soil to help plants grow. When worms dig, twisting and turning, they make the earth earthier. Ew! My poop is good for the soil. And worm poop is called castings. They don't call it poop, they call castings. And what they cast out are these like little granules. They make soil into these like little tiny balls. It's like fluffy. Worms are cool. Maybe to you. Worms feel cool. They have cold blood. Have you ever held a worm? They're kind of cold and slimy. Not slimy, but not. Are they fuzzy? No. Are they slippery? A little bit. A little slippery. A little cold. Yeah. This is a map of a worm. They're born in cocoons. They're born from little cocoons. And then all over their body they have setae are tiny bristles that help worms move. It's like little tiny hairs almost along the outside of their body that probably help them move along by grabbing the dirt a little bit. On the outside, worms don't have lungs. They breathe through their skin. Wow. They don't go because they don't have lungs like we have lungs. So instead they breathe it through their skin. And inside, only muscles and nerves. Worms have no bones. They don't have bones. This is called the clitellum right here. And only the grown-ups have these. This is where their eggs become cocoons. So in the worm, they make little cocoons. So this tells you it's a grown-up worm that can make babies. If the worm doesn't have this section, this like bumpy section, or a big long bump, then it's not grown up yet. And then, so this is its head end, and this is its bottom, and there's its brain, and it has 5 pairs of hearts. That's so cool. We only have one heart, but it has 5 pairs of hearts. And those are the blood vessels. And 2 kinds of stomachs, a gizzard and a crop. Wow, and then these are their intestines, and then their anus at the end. That's so cool. And then this is their nerve cord, and their mouth is right up there. So they have some different body parts, not as much as we might have, but different. Mr. Worm, why do you come out after the rain? It's easier to wriggle when it's wet. Worms move better and breathe better when it's wet. Have you ever noticed that after a big rain and you go walk out on the road that there's worms everywhere sometimes? It's pretty extraordinary. Excuse me, Mr. Worm. Do you have a big family? Oh, yes! One worm can have 100 babies. That is a big family. Imagine if you had 99 brothers and sisters. Wow. That's a lot. That's a big family. They better have a lot of dirt to eat. Yum! How many worms live here? Millions, 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 millions. Over 1 million worms can live in a small park. Wow, that might be like maybe in your yard. There's hundreds of thousands of worms in there. That blow your mind? Wow. How big is the biggest worm in the world? Oh, and this bird saying, yum, yum. The Australian Gippsland worm grows to 10 feet long. Wow, as tall as an elephant. There's a worm in the world that can grow if you were to stretch it out as tall as an elephant. But do worms grow up? No, they don't. They can't stand up. No, they can sort of inch along, right? Hey, little worm, I'm hungry. Want to have lunch with me? I don't think so. Why did the little worm go away? Was it something the bluebird said? Yeah, what does the bird like to eat? Worms. I want to meet you for lunch, worm. Sorry, bluebird. I have important work to do. Oh my goodness. So below your flowers in your garden, that might be what it looks like with all those worms. Busy, busy, busy. Maybe tomorrow. Thank you, worms. Those worms work hard. Always eating dirt. And do you remember what their poop is called? Castings. Good job. Castings. We dig worms. Do you dig worms? I dig worms. Maybe you can go out and dig a worm. Be gentle with it, right? Don't want to hurt it because it's a living creature and it's got really important work to do. Okay, bye.